Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.
That's right.
Good evening. I was about to say good morning. It's been such a long and I'm lost today. I'm out the game.
I feel you. I feel you. It's been a crazy day.
You came in here like a rocket.
You did, man.
You just came in here and I was like, is Lauren all right? Like,
You worried me.
All good, all good. Again, welcome to Sports with Balls. 7 o'clock, y'all. Thank you for joining in on that. Well, I mean, we were trying to earlier.
Thank you.
No, I wasn't beating them.
You have a crazy amount of glasses.
She does.
You have a crazy amount of glasses.
I love my glasses.
I was trying to tell
you
y'all.
don't need that many.
Trying to tell y'all that this girlfriend of mine thought that I looked good in glasses, so we were trying Lauren's glasses on.
Hey, why don't you try them on right now for us, Jeff?
I will.
Why don't you do these?
Give me a ringer.
Let's see how Jeff looks in these glasses. What y'all think up there? What y'all
about this?
Oh yeah.
I like it.
Maybe pull them down a little bit.
No, that's old.
I like it when he puts them down on his nose, and it's just like.
Stupid.
Okay,
But no, seriously though, why do you have that many
Stupid.
glasses? Why do you have that many glasses?
Because I don't like wearing the same ones every single day.
but they're not prescription. Only one of them are prescription. There's like 5 pairs.
They're
and only
all
one.
blue light glasses. They really do help. Like I don't
But
get a
why
headache.
that many though? Because you really just need one.
Different looks. How I'm
Okay.
feeling each day.
Listen, why so many hats, Grant?
Oh.
Well, because
Thank
they're
you,
awesome.
Jeffrey.
Well, because they do
Got my
different
girls
things,
back.
different colors. You know, I
right.
mean, those glasses do one thing: block blue light.
Yeah, and it's amazing one thing.
Welcome to Sports with Balls.
That's a good point.
And we welcome in Johnny J. of
Sweaty
course.
balls. Y'all remember that Saturday Night Live?
That was great. I love that shit.
Sweaty balls.
That was fantastic.
I was
It
just,
was.
I'm out on this.
Lauren.
I
You didn't know that one?
Anybody that
You need to
hasn't
watch it.
been paying attention, the Celtics and 76ers are playing right now. Celtics are up 67-59, which is great. NBA playoffs have started, so we're going to keep you up to date, and we've got a bunch of talk about the NBA here in a little bit. But, I mean, we're sitting over here at Prime Social.
Yep, we're sitting up here on Prime Social, and like we said earlier, it's just more and more people come each and every week.
They got the
It's
valet
so lively.
fixed, the entrance is now fixed. You come in front, like it's pretty cool up here.
Oh, it's so great. I didn't have to go and make a little U-turn. You can just take a left.
Did you valet?
I did not.
You
You were so ready to take a punch.
I would have
did.
100%.
ready.
If you would have bet, I would have bet.
I would have
you did.
said that she
Really?
did valet.
Yes.
And I
100.
would have got y'all's money because I did not.
You seem like a valet girl.
Yep.
I do like to valet.
Okay, well there you go. So
All
we're
good.
right. We're
But
right.
we are
What
here at
happened
Prime
today?
Social.
That's right, guys. So come up here, enjoy your first hour of playing for free. When you mention Sports with Balls, you can get a membership. And like I said, you can play an hour of poker for free, anything that you like, or choose to get a free t-shirt, half-price food, which is amazing. Was just posted on our Instagram page, like all the different dishes. We can get to it later, but I know all of us have enjoyed it.
Y'all have seen the food we brought out here. If y'all been paying
It's so
attention,
great.
you've seen
Fantastic.
the food that we have out here, and it's flat out amazing.
It
I
is
love it.
so good. Yes, we're here at 7801 Westheimer. Come join us. Like, join
Yeah.
the show. Like, we're always up here having a good time.
We up in it.
So, yes.
We up in it.
We up in it.
Again, like I said, tons and tons and tons of sports news coming up. I've got something I want to bring up about Lauren here in a little bit, so y'all stay tuned for this. This is pretty hysterical.
Great.
Did you read what Garrett said?
No, what he said?
Garrett said, "Got to have some new glasses swag for every day of the week."
Yeah.
Pretty much. I
that
almost
right?
ordered some yesterday, and I stopped myself because it was like tax-free. I was so close. I was like, I don't need to spend the money on them.
Those cannot be that expensive.
They're not. They're not. They're like, but like $20, $15, $20. Like when you don't need them, kind of like you said,
Yeah.
I just like
Okay,
them.
so you admit you don't need them.
kind of.
Okay, good. There you go.
I mean, I need them
Point
in
for me.
general,
I
but
win.
not all of them.
I won.
I
If
just
it's
like
for
all
blue
of them.
blockers or whatever it is, like
It's
why
blue light.
blue light? Sorry, why are you not
You can
wearing
go
them
blind
now?
from those because we're doing a show and there's a reflection, so I'm not allowed to wear them.
Oh,
According to our producer Johnny J over there,
oh,
he won't
Johnny.
let me wear my glasses.
Jeez.
Legit.
I love it. Listen, we're going to get into the hot topics right now with Lauren, but before we get into that, I got to thank my man, Joe Applewhite from Joe Applewhite Realty. If you're considering a move or know somebody that is, call Joe, 713-291-5270. Mention Sports with Balls. He's going to help you move. You saw on Thursday, he will lift the boxes.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. So mention him,
He
mention
did.
Sports with Balls to him. Joe Apple Realty, 713-291-5270. What we got going on?
That is right. Y'all ready to crack open some hot topics?
Gosh.
Show's over.
Was ready.
It's over.
I was ready to get it started. I had to hear what
wow.
y'all had to say about that. So
How long you been planning that?
actually, like whenever I saw it here, I'm like, I haven't opened it yet. Let me crack it open for
I'm
the hot
almost
topic.
done.
I like that.
We need
About a
wait-
minute ago.
That was
need a
some energy.
waitress.
Cheers. You already drank.
Yeah, it's only 8.4 ounces, which
Yeah.
is weird. We talked
I
about
know,
that.
but you
Yeah, that's
just drank
weird.
one before the show in like 5 minutes, and we just started the show, and you're finishing that one too
I'm ready to get it, y'all.
But didn't you already drink one too, though?
on the
at
way
12.
here.
Okay. well,
It
there
took
you
like
go.
an hour to drive
So
here.
that means before.
An hour.
Do we have a bell?
I don't know, we should bring it.
Just a little cowbell like Mississippi
Yes.
State.
I was
Yeah.
trying to think of it. What is that? Saved by the Bell. That's what it was called. Okay.
Speaking of dumbbells, Des Bryant.
Yes.
Hey, he's not a cowboy anymore.
That's your
so-
boy.
No, he's not a cowboy anymore. They can do
So
whatever he wants.
Des, yes, we saw
Oh,
the day
you
that
did
he's
that.
gonna be gonna be working out with the Ravens, projected to be this week, which is really interesting. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe Jackson has some moves up his sleeve. I don't know when they're not getting AB, so
He's only
I don't know.
31.
Yeah, I think Des can add. I think he can add something to a team that picks him up. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not what he was 3-4 years ago, but I mean,
I would take Des Bryant before I take Antonio Brown. Well,
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I would absolutely,
that's weird,
absolutely, I would.
man.
'cause
Yeah.
you're basing everything
Locker
else,
room,
and
but
not just the
it's not like
talent.
Des Bryant doesn't have issues in the locker room as well. That guy's always been a little bit of a nuisance.
I think Des got a bad rap. I really do as a Cowboy. He had his moments, but I mean, he was projected to be this huge troublemaker that just tore the locker room apart, and that just didn't happen. He had his moments, but
All right.
All right, moving on from Des, we are going to the MLB. The Yankees now have 3 guys that are on the IL. We have, if I say this wrong, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and now DJ LeMahieu. And that is LeMahieu is now on 10-day IL, sprain from his left thumb. He said that he felt this back in 2018.
Yeah,
with
he's
the
had
Rockies.
this injury before, and he missed over a month with it.
Right.
This is a lingering problem for him, and I would say the Yankees at this point. You miss a month of the season right now, but on the flip
they're
side,
still winning.
flip side of that, yeah, they're still kicking ass. They're playing Boston, who's terrible. They've played Baltimore, who's terrible. Well, actually, Baltimore's
It's a lot
not
of
bad.
Boston games.
There's Boston's not. I mean, they're at the
Every
bottom
time
of
I
the
get the
league.
notification, like Yankees, and I'm just like, bro,
Boston may
something's got to give.
Boston may be the worst team in the major leagues. They're terrible. Boston's awful.
They are bad. Like, you haven't heard
Would you
a single
would
thing
you say
about
that
them.
they're worse than the Mariners though?
Yes,
Yes.
Maybe.
yes,
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
I
all
would
right.
say so.
I'd have to look at their records, but they're there.
Now moving back.
Mariners have a better record, 7-16.
Moving back to your Cowboys and NFL, Gerald McCoy, season-ending injury. He ruptured his right quadricep tendon. How do you feel about that?
Dude.
Terrible.
Wow.
I mean, that's a big loss. I mean, Cowboys have a lot of strengths. One of their weaknesses has been D-line play, especially interior defensive tackle, in that center technique. And losing that guy, I mean, that's a big loss.
Dude, he is the premier guy on that line. He's an all-pro. He's a pro bowler. The guy is phenomenal. When I read that today, out of all the good news other than like Dak not signing and doing the 1 year, you guys drafting CeeDee Lamb, all the offseason acquisitions you guys have gotten, dude, that's a big hit for them.
Yeah,
big hit.
I think the offseason for the most part for the Cowboys has been pretty positive. Positive with the exception of the Dak deal. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's bad news. It's part of the NFL, part of what
a lot
the
of players are
concerns
getting hurt too. We'll get into
Yeah.
some little bit. There's a
Yeah.
lot of guys getting hurt.
We'll get into that too a little bit later on because we'll have our. That's right. We'll have our fantasy football football show coming up too, which will be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But lastly, speaking of football too, high school football's in session for Utah. So that was kind of a happy
Yeah, I mean, Lauren didn't know who they were going to play.
I was like,
Yeah.
who are they playing?
playing?
He was like,
I said,
teams.
Lauren, there's high school football back in Utah. Well, who are they going to play?
Yeah.
Like, well,
Each other.
other high school teams, Lauren.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know, but like when you think about
Put
it,
the
like
glasses
so many
on.
schools.
with the smart glasses on.
Yeah, maybe that works.
Rude. So rude.
Listen, I've been getting hammered since y'all got here before the show in the production meeting and everything, so I don't want to hear it.
Hammered? That's right, with 2 Red Bulls
not
down.
drinking wise, you guys knocking on me. Like, I've already had a bad day. I don't need more.
Oh.
understand the words that are coming out of
That's right.
That's right. Thank you.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
And that wraps up our hot topics. And from there, I think we're going over to something you're super excited to discuss. And I'm wondering if you actually have one. You want to tell them what I'm talking about?
What are we referring to?
I don't know. You played this up. You said you had something special to say.
The Bumblebee.
Oh, Bumble? Yeah, if y'all remember when we did the first shows, like, and we were over at Lucky's and whatever, remember I would sit next to you and I was like, oh, my because my Bumble would go off.
It was like Taylor or Katie
during
or
the
something.
show. It's like, bling. I'm like, oh, whoops.
Yep.
And then, so I'm watching the NBA, and this was a couple of months ago, and or before they stopped, and I was like, what is that on the sideline, Bumble? I was like, there's no possible way that the NBA is sponsored by Bumble. Sure enough, watching basketball 2 days ago, LA Clippers, huge Bumble badge on their jersey and Bumble on the sideline of the NBA. And I immediately called Grant. Yeah, I mean, I was like, there's no way that the NBA is sponsored by a dating app.
Bumble
They are.
at the bubble.
Yes. And, out of all the controversy they've had with women coming in and out or anything like that, I mean, they're like, oh, Bumble.
They're paying the bills. I mean,
well, that's
shoot.
why I called Grant and I was like, Grant, do some research. Let's figure out because they were playing, who are they playing? Who has the Loves logo?
OKC.
OKC. So the
Clippers
Clippers
versus-
playing OKC and like
Thunder.
the Oklahoma City had Loves, like a big Loves.
Yeah.
Now, everybody that's been road tripping in Texas knows that most of the Loves are closed down. They all just look like they're off to the side because Buc-ee's has taken over or
I
whatever.
went to Love's a couple weekends ago.
There's a few of them, but
There's
I
a
mean,
few.
to have a patch, like, I mean, Love's, it's not like Love's is as big as Bumble, I wouldn't think. I don't know.
I'd definitely say Buc-ee's is bigger. But then again, that's here in Texas. We don't know what's
Correct.
going on in the other states.
Correct.
Exactly. But so Grant did some research, found out
did.
who's sponsored by what this year because they did have the NBA was allowing obviously sponsors on their jerseys and what do we have? Who all is doing what?
Well, I'll say this. I didn't like the idea of the jersey sponsorships whenever they talked about it. I wasn't a big fan. I've been okay with it. It hasn't been that distracting. Like, I thought it was going to be like a soccer uniform.
It wasn't
something
either
like
until I
that.
actually noticed the Bumble.
And talk about advertisements.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So when I saw what it is, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you look at the business of the sponsorships and what that has done for the NBA. I mean, it's crazy. So what I've seen on the Eastern Conference, the team that has the highest sponsorship, which is ironic, is probably the worst team in the East, which is the New York Knicks.
The Knicks?
They're 12 to 14 million a year.
Who sponsors the Knicks?
Squarespace.
Squarespace?
Yeah, Squarespace
Wow, I
sponsors.
didn't know that thing still
Do
existed.
you,
Sponsors
yeah,
the
like,
Knicks.
isn't that where you check in somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Squarespace.
forgot about that.
So they're the
Whoa.
most.
That's still a thing?
I would have thought like not
I mean, hey, if you want to come
but,
sponsor us, no hate.
Yeah, for
Come
real.
on,
I'm
Love
not
Square.
gonna
Waze. I would have thought like Waze or something would be
right.
one of them.
Right. Yeah. But they have,
Yeah.
and they are, and
me the
these
money.
these companies are doing that now. What's funny is they're pretty much all through 2020. So a lot of these will expire after this year. So we'll see what
1-year
happens.
deals.
I mean, there's Brooklyn's got $8 million a year sponsorship deal. Brooklyn's with Infor. Whatever Infor is, and that's the other thing about these sponsorship deals.
A lot of them are local things.
Yeah, some of these
you're not
never
gonna
heard
know.
of.
What's some
Yeah.
more that is there anyone that are more interesting than Loves and Bumble?
Well,
Well,
Love's
Foursquare is pretty interesting.
Love, surprisingly, they're paying $10 million a year. They're paying $10 million a year through 23.
So they have that advertisement money to spend then.
And what's Bumble paying?
Bumble is
Clippers?
paying. Well, it depends on what you read, but what I saw, majority of the news I saw, they're paying $7 million a year, is what Bumble's paying to the LA Clippers.
And you said there's one that's paying $20 million.
Golden State's.
Golden State Warriors have somebody paying them $20 million to have a logo.
when we
And
know
you'll see it
that
all the
they've gone
time.
off
Jersey.
the grid.
And you'll see it all the time. It's
Damn.
Rakuten.
Yes, I
Yes.
know exactly.
Hey.
Yes,
And
that's
they're a
what it is.
marketing firm. They own a bunch of
I know a
different-
couple of y'all might know this. Do y'all know the name of the girls that hang around in the parking lots at the gas stations or the truck stops?
I don't know.
Jeff, what?
Do y'all not know the names for them? And listen, the only reason I know this is a good friend of mine's a truck driver, and like, we
Oh,
have
that's
covered-
the reason.
I
What?
never drove a
friend
truck.
of mine
What
told
in
me.
the
Never
world?
drove a truck. I never drove a
Y'all
truck.
know those girls that
I
hang
mean,
out in the
look,
parking lots?
we're talking
What?
about Bumble. We're talking about hooking up. Like, you know,
Correct.
this is
No,
a good
I'm interested to
segue.
learn all this.
It's called lot lizards.
What the?
Yeah, they're the girls that hang around and like hang out with the 18-wheeler. Like they're called lot lizards. I swear to God, anybody that's listening, Mark, I know you know this too. Not for any weird reason, but like,
Yeah, because somebody told you.
yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I might. I think I might have.
Ryan Dixon just said Squarespace is also a website design company. So
Oh,
I
could
guess
be.
they're making ways of, you know.
Yeah,
making
that's
a
what
name for
that's what
themselves
Blair
other
says
than
too.
that.
Blair, them pillows. Man, I love that. I know
Love
Mark,
your
I know-
pillow.
I know Mark got a pillow too. Put your pillow thing back up on your website, back up on our live feed, so people know where to get them. And Mark, if you already received
Lay on
yours,
it every day.
put a picture up or
Yes.
whatever. Let people know how much you like it. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. That Bumble, what?
Mark Boardman said at the four-wheeler parks they are called mud crickets.
I don't know any. I didn't know any of this.
I was out on
I
this
am-
conversation.
wow.
telling you, man. I'm telling you, there's names for these girls. Like, I mean, you know, we this is on the
These
subject,
are-
but off the subject.
These sounds like girls you take home to your mom.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
for sure.
Hey, mom, here's this woman I met.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. But yeah, so those are. I mean, and you've got some
Speaking
weird
of
ones.
moms, like her mom, Vicky, she just started dying laughing on the show.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Miss
for
Neal. I'm
listening,
so
Mama.
sorry. I'm sorry, but
Love ya.
you know what to stay away from. Joe's
Those mud crickets, man.
mud
They'll
crickets.
get ya.
That's
Was
crazy.
there a guy version? Is there a guy name for that? I feel like the guy name would be mud crickets, and then the female would be whatever you called them.
Okay, we're getting way too into this. this is
I don't know if we want to analyze this.
There you go.
Perfect.
Spoonypillow.com, Blair.
Yes.
Appreciate
Thank you so
you.
much, Blair, for sharing that. Go get your pillow. I use it every night. It's amazing.
I thought it was hysterical, though. Bumble sponsored the Clippers. That's just, I mean, I didn't know that dating apps had made it that far. But
I'll tell you what was funny.
Whatever.
I'll tell you
Do you
what
use
I
it?
saw.
What, Bumble?
Uh-huh.
I used to. I use Hinge now.
Ah.
Shout out. Y'all call me. That was a, nice little piece for you guys.
Hinge.
I don't know if we could get. Do
We're
we want?
trying to
we
hook
need
Jeff up with
we
a
need a little
nice,
hinge.
nice lady.
No, we'll
That's
wear
right.
little jerseys with hinge on it, little patches, little hat.
Hey.
Speaking
I'll
of
put anything
Mark
on it.
Boardman, we need our hats from Construction Concepts. I saw one the other night. They're awesome. Send us the hats for Construction
I
Concepts.
love hats. Send me one.
I obviously do.
Grant does.
Yes, I'll wear it most definitely. But I thought New Orleans Pelicans, their jersey sponsor, Zatarans. Does that make sense or what?
That's perfect.
That's
See,
perfect.
now that makes sense.
And the thing is,
well,
they're-
actually, L.A. Clippers and Bumble makes complete sense, but whatever.
Right.
And now the Pelicans are out.
Yes. Speaking of out, the 76ers have came back and took the lead over the Celtics 77-75. The end of the we're going into the end of the third minute left.
Yeah, and Alvin Gentry, the coach, actually was released on Saturday because they haven't
Correct.
made it
We
to
had
the playoffs.
just talked about him.
yes.
It's crazy. They haven't made it in the last
That-
4 out of 5
None of that
seasons.
was his fault. Like that had to have been some. Look, Zion's young. He's not old enough to take over a team
You think
or,
it's
or
talent?
make decisions. But I mean, like you know how LeBron runs the Lakers. I don't know why they would get rid of him. Like I really don't. They're still building.
Well, I think
Ooh, just
anytime-
got another.
I think anytime you're a young team like that, you're always, especially it depends on who's out there and available. You know, like some of the names for New Orleans, Ty Lue is one of them. And Ty Lue, say what you will, even though he had LeBron James, he won a championship.
Didn't
Ty
he get
Lue
stepped
did.
over by Iverson?
Yeah, he did.
That was like
He
one of the
did.
most iconic things
That
in NBA
was.
history.
That was.
Game 1, NBA Finals, and Iverson just stepped right over him on the sideline. And now,
That doesn't surprise me by Iverson move though.
no, he was awesome. Ty Lue, I would still take Alvin Gentry over Ty Lue, but we can spend all day on coaches, I guess. But who won today? We already talked about the Clippers. They didn't play today, but
Nah, they're playing
the
the
Nuggets, despite 57 points from
Yeah.
Mitchell. Wow, that's like some Harden stuff and lose.
That's
Nuggets
tough,
beat the
man.
Jazz. They're 1-0. They're 1-0 in the playoffs. Raptors beat the Nets, and that was easy. They won by 24.
Yeah.
These are gonna. I mean, we talked about how these are gonna play
Yeah,
out.
Eastern Conference I think is going to be pretty easy to predict, but we talked about it before the show, and I'd be curious to know maybe your point of view and Jeff yours, just because you and I are both fathers.
This is
Mike Conley.
Oh.
Mike Conley did
Didn't
not.
see it going this way.
Mike Conley did not play in the playoff game because he left the bubble to be at the birth of his son.
Oh.
So my question is, especially for dads out there too, you're starting off the playoffs, first game of the playoffs. Mike Conley has not been in the playoffs very much in his career because he's been on the Grizzlies in Memphis. You leaving to go to the birth of your son?
You know, we discussed this. I mean, you put it in my head just to kind of think about it, and my immediate reaction was like, "Whoa,
Yes.
tough. This is tough.
It's tough.
How much money do you lose? I mean, you know, let's just say you're making $350,000, $400,000 a game, something like that. You know, to miss that. Listen, you 5
the
years
birth.
down the road. I say I play.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm in my 20s. I'm in my early 20s. You know, there's so many memories you're gonna make with your children, right? Not of people. Yeah, you may have that video of the coming out or whatever, but there's so many memories prior to that, so many memories after that. Like
Johnny's
that's
face.
really not one of the big ones. I think I play because
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna, especially if I'm gonna have other children and like.
Was it his first child?
I don't know that. I just know that.
See, that's
I
a big
saw
one,
that
too.
I
he,
feel like that
I
changes
saw
it
that he
a
left.
little
That would be a
bit.
tough decision for me. I can't. It's one of those things you can't blame the guy for leaving, but at the same time, you're like, man, do you think Mike Conley could have helped him today?
Oh yeah.
Well, so we talked about this, I'd say a month ago when players were opting out when the NBA season was set to play.
Right.
And one of the guys said he was going to go home because it was the only time that he had custody with, I don't know if it was their son or their daughter, but it's the only time they had custody of him and wanted to spend that time.
There's been a bunch of
Other than being in quarantine,
Yeah.
they'd rather
people
be
that opted out because they're young children, people that did this, that. I say yes just because, listen, it's money. I'm letting my teammates down, something I've done my entire life before I even met the girl that I was with. Like, I mean, team and camaraderie and basketball is a part of your life just as much as a child is for a lot of these people. And you play basketball a long time.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of you.
Yeah.
To miss something like that and an opportunity to get somewhere and make a statement, you never know what's going to happen in that one
That's
game.
exactly what you said right there. It's where you put your priority at. It's where you put your priority at. I mean, if you're family, obviously, but if you're like basketball's in my blood, then that's where you're going to go.
It's a tough
Sadly.
decision. I don't blame. I wouldn't be upset if he decided to stay. I'm not upset at him if he decided to leave. I get it. I mean, I was at the birth of both of my daughters. It was, it was magical. I will never. It was fantastic. I'll never forget about it for as long as I live. So I can understand
Yeah.
both.
Oh.
I can. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, I can understand
And
both.
Johnny J says family first, I say. He said in the comments. And
I'm just an asshole.
I
so.
would lean
No,
I would lean that way too.
I get.
I get what you're saying.
What's crazy is
At the
I
same
haven't even
time,
said that. I haven't even answered it yet.
Seabrook's
Whether
such
I would.
a big town.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I know we were talking about that
You can't
earlier.
just throw
so-
things out there when no one knows what you're talking about, Jeffrey.
I'm
you
about to
can't.
explain to you. Like,
What is you never told us what your take was or your answer.
he said
rather.
yes, he would.
I would probably go home. I probably would. Yeah, I
Let's
probably would.
see. What else we got going on in the NBA? Oh, tonight. Your Mavericks
Yes.
versus the Clippers.
Correct.
Obviously, home court advantage, not a.
Doesn't mean anything.
It's just not the big deal.
So
But-
that's what I want to ask about, you guys. Like all of these games that happen during the day, obviously that wouldn't happen in a normal season. They would be at nighttime when you can view
Correct.
them, whatnot. Does that change? I mean, that changes the ratings on the show. Like if you can actually watch them. We're just talking about scores because obviously all day we've had work. We try to catch the games when we can.
Right.
But I mean, like
I didn't realize that Jokic missed a game-winning shot into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You have to read these things on highlights, Right. And
I know it sucks.
I don't want to say it's
You wanna
terrible for
watch
the
'em.
NBA, but they're running through it because you don't want that 3-month long playoffs like they usually do. But yeah, you're not watching them, and they're going to put the primetime games on at night. Like
Yeah.
For these games, obviously the one that's playing right now, the Celtics is a surprise. I'm sure the Celtics will end up pulling it off, but like
81-75 76ers right now.
better get on it.
But yeah, it's been weird having NBA playoff games happen while you're at work. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done that before. But yeah, tonight you got Clippers Mavs. Clippers -6.5.
Who are you taking? And who are you taking? What's the over under? That's a huge one.
230.5.
I'd go the over.
The way it's going right now, yes. because the Mavericks can't play defense.
Well, neither can the Clippers, and the Clippers are supposed to be notorious for their defense
Right.
with, Patrick Beverly, and you've got the Claw,
My dude.
with Leonard. So you
Paul
would think,
George.
Paul George, who's notorious for good defense too, but Phoenix ran them up. Everybody's been running up the Clippers, so I don't know if they're going to turn it on. But what's the better bet, the -6.5 or the over?
The over.
Over.
Yeah, that's what I would go the over. If I'm a betting man, just because of what's been going on in the bubble, I'm gonna take the over.
Are
do
you a
think-
betting man?
I do think.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I do think giving
Not right now.
giving Dallas. I do think giving Dallas 6.5. I think is kind of make me nervous a little bit, just because Dallas can play, and I think that's going to be a lot closer game than what they think it is.
I wonder, and we talked about
Then
this.
6.5.
If they're in LA and there's a crowd, what's the spread?
It's higher than that probably.
Yeah.
I don't think by much though. You can't give a double
Maybe a
digit.
point.
Yeah, you can't give a double digit. You couldn't give them 10.5 points. I'm taking Dallas all day.
Maybe a point and a half. I would say.
See, that's what's weird is I was going to get into this maybe next week with you about NFL and gambling.
Correct.
How the home field advantage or home court advantage in this situation is taking it's not that big of a deal.
No,
No, it's not.
It plays an important role. Like we talked about when it comes to the NFL, it'll be interesting to find out what those spreads are, because you just get a certain spread just based on the fact you're at home.
Yeah, exactly. In the NFL, you get 3 points just for being at home.
Correct.
No matter what, it's -3, and then they add in all the other factors. And
Correct.
whatnot, and it can go either way, but I don't know what it is in the NBA. I don't know how they do that, but Vegas has lost a ton of money so far in this Bumble.
Yes.
Bumble.
He got Bumble on the mind.
Man,
dude.
he has got Bumble on the mind.
Yeah.
Later on, he's going to have a profile. You're
No,
going to
I'm
get to check
going home and
Jeff
going to bed.
out at
Stop.
that.
Yeah.
But listen, in the bubble, there's Bumble in the bubble. So they
Bumble in the bubble.
Vegas has lost a
they're
ton.
they're now allowing family members.
Well, that's not Bumble.
That's not Bumble, but
And one time at band camp,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, we saw what happened to the guy from the Seahawks who was undrafted, and it was going to be his rookie year. And
So you're taking the over tonight, and you're taking.
Oh, it's like, shut up.
Are you taking Dallas?
I'll take Dallas plus 6.5, and I'll take the over.
All right. If you're doing a parlay, there it is. Dallas.
Boom.
I think I would play. I think I'd take Dallas 6.5 in the over as well.
Yeah. So we agree.
Lauren, Leo.
Yeah, I'd
Lauren-
love to.
Lauren
I would
Leo's big
love
deals.
To hear your betting advice.
Yes.
I would love to hear
In
your
fact,
betting advice.
I don't know about my betting advice,
Yes.
guys.
You wanna know what
I
that
can give you
means?
my opinion. What?
Yeah. So give me your opinion then.
Advice, opinion, is that about the same thing?
Over, under.
Well, advice. I feel like I'm telling you what to do. My
She already
opinion
said
is
the
just
over.
speaking my take.
She
Oh,
already
so
said the over. So
Yeah.
what
What
about
would
the
you take?
6.5?
What would you take? 6.5.
You taking Dallas plus
I-
6.5 points or LA minus 6.5?
Come on, this is a time show.
I know.
We're here an hour.
Johnny's like, get on it, girl.
Johnny's laughing over there because he's waiting for the button to push.
I'm not here for a long
You know which one to hit. Yes.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
We'll go to the some Major League Baseball, man. Some interesting stuff. Something I just read about a second ago. Did you know that the first person that was born in the 2020s or the 2000s? I'm sorry, the first person born in the 2000s just hit a first
that was this year.
first home run.
Wow. Very nice.
in
I like
Major
that.
League Baseball.
I like that little gem.
And are you going to?
Who it was?
Stand?
I don't know. It just came up. It said the first person. I didn't click on it, but I was like,
You're
this came
great.
out like an hour
That
ago.
is so.
You're a great newsman.
Awesome.
You're a great newsman.
I just thought it was
Like, that
interesting.
is
You got breaking
great.
news, everybody.
Listen, it's
The
I'm
first
sure,
person born in 2000 hit a home run.
Listen, it's not. Yes, that's it. That is breaking news, and that's pretty cool.
I don't know who he is.
Wait till you get to your
But-
little stats, buddy. Fine. Today in sports history. That is today in sports history.
I like it.
Enough.
It was good.
Enough.
It was interesting.
We're going over to the NFL where actually
Oh,
we
we
may
are?
have fans.
I didn't know we were going to NFL. Let's go NFL. That's right.
That's what you proposed to us in our production meeting.
Oh, sorry. Too many
Bro.
Red Bulls.
Exactly.
Yes, I did say that. And yes, we are going to have fans. Now, some teams are, some teams aren't. So the Texans have already come out and said, we will not have fans our home opener, but the Texans are playing the Chiefs,
Yeah.
who have come out and said that Thursday night's football game, there will be fans.
16,000.
20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, we said this before the show, Grant. Like, you were like, oh, only 16. I'm like, that's better than 0.
Oh, I absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. It'll just be weird because Arrowhead, that stadium, it's always packed.
Yeah, I know.
Always. And it'll be interesting to see what that place looks like when it's got, it's not even half full.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously going to be spread out. Listen, if you've got a unique sign and you've got tickets to that game, you're going to be on camera.
Yes.
You dressed up.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
and those
Yes,
guys,
absolutely.
are they going to be able to tailgate? Because
That would be interesting.
that's
I was wondering that too. What's going to be the tailgate rules this year?
And the thing is, if there are like restaurant/bars that are going to be open, those are going to be full.
not in the stadium, they won't be.
I'm not talking about in the stadium, bro.
Bro,
I'm
Yeah,
talking
bro.
about around the city.
yeah, bro.
man.
I'm talking about around the city.
Jeez.
Exactly. Do you
Come
understand
on,
the words that
bro.
are coming?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know Kansas City's rules. I think Houston has some pretty strict ones, but yeah. God, let me get this.
She broed you. I can't believe that. That
She
was
broed
awesome.
me.
Indian giver. You give me a Red Bull and now
Brody.
you take it out of my hands.
So 16,000 fans. Texans at Chiefs opening night, Thursday night, which is
So
interesting.
excited. So excited for this rematch. Oh,
But it's so weird though. We talk about. I'm sorry. I know it's a repeat. We talk about it every show. But I can't ever remember sports media being so quiet about the NFL season.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally a few weeks away.
Well,
and it's just not talked about.
I take like today and the last few days, and we talked about. So we're going to get our fantasy football special coming on. I've got a couple of things to bring up here in a little bit about that, but NFL is now starting to take precedence in all the sports shows. It's just now starting to pop up. It's the number one thing that's on all the Twitters in the morning. Like my phone goes ballistic with all NFL news. Like
Same.
Gerald
Yeah.
McCoy's like it's starting to come around, and especially since Kansas City just said they're going to have fans.
Yeah.
If for some reason that's a success, well, other venues are going to start doing it. They're not. Has Dallas said Dallas says okay? They said maybe 40%, right?
Correct.
I don't know who said no fans yet. I forgot, but I don't know if they can renege back on that. But if 20% of the fans can show up, obviously it's better than zero. You might have the NFL be the first people to have fans back in.
yeah, and I mean, we talked about the whole bubble situation too
Yeah.
with the Cowboys prior to this.
It would be. I mean, I'd be curious to see how it works. But my concern would be if you start to have that happen and people start coming in, and then you get some cases start growing.
Well,
then everybody's
yeah,
going to point to that being
gonna be
that's the reason, and then that's my concern. If they say we can either have no fans and have the season go all the way through, or have fans and have the potential of them shutting it down, I would be fine with no fans because I want football.
NFL's not going to do that. They realize they realize the money that they are going to lose with no fans.
I don't think the NFL would, but I'm just saying if they got enough
Listen,
pressure.
you're going to get on Ticketmaster or whatever it is, and there's going to be a waiver that you're going to sign that says like I told you, they're going to have the first 6 or 8 rows empty around the stadium, so you won't even be allowed. The players are going to have zero contact with fans.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the players are not going to contract a coronavirus or COVID-19, however you want to look at it, from a fan. Like they're going to make sure they're secluded and whatever. If they get it, it's from being at home or doing this or whatnot. But so they're going to have it in place. And look, fans there, awesome. Maybe it'll help relax a little bit of this sports anxiety with no fans.
I can't wait to see the memes of somebody up in
All the way
like
up
the
there.
highest
Yeah.
section,
Like 20
and they're
rows
like,
away
"Yay,
from
I made it to
anybody."
the game.
Like Royals fan,
Yeah.
But hey, our show, Sports with Balls, would not be possible without these guys. Whether
Yeah.
it's residential or commercial, you can count on Prime Texas Metal Roofs for any and all of your roofing needs. Call today for a free, no-obligation estimate and mention Sports with Balls at 832-755-1440. That is Prime Texas Metal Roofs, and they will take care of you.
I got a shingle roof done today with them.
Awesome.
They do shingle roofs as well. Their main focus is metal roofs,
Yeah.
but they do shingle roofs as well. And they're taking care of one this Saturday for me.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So I know that was one good thing that went for you today.
Yeah, the rest were terrible.
Yeah.
Do you need some more of this?
We heard
Red
all
Bull?
about it.
No, Lauren, leave me alone.
So next, are we doing construction concepts?
Yeah, Mark.
Of course.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't know
I
if
want
it was
those
my turn.
hats.
I don't know.
I
if it was
want
my-
those hats.
Mark,
Yeah, if you
What
got
color
hats,
do
I
they
want
come
hats.
in?
I don't know.
I
I should have taken a picture of it.
Why do you
for
want a
guys.
hat so bad? I don't see you wearing a hat.
I like hats.
Hats and
Okay.
glasses. You get it?
I didn't know that you wore hats.
I do when
Now,
Okay.
Grant's talking about hats.
Yeah, Yeah, hey, hold on. Hats are my thing. What are you doing?
I know.
I'm getting all offended.
I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that.
Construction Concepts is changing corporate culture one design at a time. From hospitality, corporate, luxury, retail, and medical facilities, their team of experts can update or create a space that exceeds your expectations. Give them a call at 713-589-2682 or buildithouston.com.
Oh,
There it is.
We had something funny before the show happened with that.
Oh,
You thought it was.
yeah.
You thought it was real
The
funny.
Lauren Leal show.
Yeah, we're just here. Go ahead, Lauren.
Are we done?
I don't
With
know.
what?
What are we doing? Are we doing a show here? What's going on?
Are we done?
Just wait for y'all to read something up. Okay, we're still sticking with the NFL. Look, Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins came out and said
Goodness.
Tua looks great in practice, and Tua has given a lot of his credit to Fitzpatrick, who one of the greatest backup quarterbacks in NFL history, in my opinion. We already mentioned Dez Bryant is working out for the Baltimore Ravens, which is very interesting with him and Antonio Brown. Sam Darnold. Have y'all looked at his wide receivers? This is so interesting.
Who are they? I don't even know who the guys are.
I don't really.
Y'all got to look at these names. Like, listen, because I pay attention to fantasy football, obviously, a lot. You're looking at
you're
this.
a betting man.
You're looking at the receiver core for Sam Darnold. It is.
Denzel Mims.
Read them off.
Denzel Mims. Bradshaw Perriman.
Yeah, Perriman's okay.
Jamison Crowder. Jeff Smith. Josh Dockerson. Braxton. Who are these guys?
Exactly. That's the point. That's what we're talking about.
It is unreal that they put the. I mean,
it's the Jets. When have they ever been relevant?
well, listen, are you trying to flop already because you're not going after a quarterback? I mean, even if Sunshine was available, like you got Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Like, I mean, they have nobody around Sam Darnold. I mean, no one.
Well, yeah, they don't want mono.
Throw a football over the mountain.
Well, he could. There'd just be nobody there to
making
catch
a
it
joke.
is a problem. But yeah, no, I think the one thing about the Jets, though, in their trade that they did for Jamal Adams, the Jets have set themselves up for future growth and development with those draft picks. I mean, I think over the next 2 years, they have 5 draft picks in the first two rounds. So, I mean, they have opportunities to grow and develop. But, yes, this year,
Are you taking
Unless
taking
something
Le'Veon Bell?
he's their only option. He's all they
No,
got.
I'm saying like in fantasy football, you're playing. Are you drafting Le'Veon Bell in the first 3 rounds?
They're high on him.
Well, yeah, but he's still got issues. He held out for that long, then he finally got signed with the Jets. And you mentioned the Jamal Adams trade. Le'Veon Bell came out on Twitter, went nuts on Jamal Adams for that.
Yeah.
And then they have, I mean, look, if they have nothing. In fact, let me read off the top 10 running backs right now for you. As far as, here they are. All right, of course, number 1 is going to be,
I thought we were talking about wide
CMC.
receivers.
yeah. We're talking about both, but since we're on running backs, CMC, of
Yeah.
course, Christian McCaffrey. This is interesting. Saquon Barkley and then Alvin Kamara, who had a terrible season last year. Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, who had a breakout season last year.
Yeah.
Why isn't my man mentioned yet? Keep going.
Clyde Edwards from, what is it, San Francisco he plays for now? Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, Austin Eckler. And then it goes into, which is very interesting, Joe Mixon. Derrick Henry is down there at number 12.
That's who I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
And Josh Jacobs at 13.
The
That's
thing is,
surprising.
too, I know Vrabel
What?
said earlier this season, we're going to spread the ball around more, so we're going to give it to other guys. But why would you do that when things are working? And Derrick Henry, why are you down so far?
Yeah.
Now,
Who
I'm
is this
assuming this
by?
is based on a projection.
I was
This is
gonna say,
CBS.
who
This is CBS Sports.
And this is a projection for this year where they would stack at the end
Well,
of the
there's
year.
4 different people that are projecting, what order they're in. And,
So,
on there-
okay, so that's the question. Is this for fantasy reasons?
Fantasy football.
Okay.
But didn't he broke records last year, didn't he, Derrick Henry?
The last 4 regular season games.
But this is where I don't like fantasy football because fantasy football, I think, takes away from – you're just looking at it from a standpoint of who's going to score you points in fantasy football, who's not going to win you football games.
Yes.
Correct?
But you have to separate the two. That's why I love fantasy
Yeah,
football.
so Derrick Henry last year was the rushing yards leader.
Correct.
And
Over
rushing touchdowns,
1,600 yards,
co-leader.
yes.
So that's why I'm like, what's going on? If they are going by fantasy points too, that doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna love playing you guys in fantasy football.
I know he keeps saying he's going to kick our butt.
That's fine because I've never, like I told you before, I've never played it, and this is the
Oh,
reason
it's gonna
why.
be fun.
Because it doesn't matter about fantasy football; it matters about your team winning football.
Listen, we're also going to grab a couple of our guests, maybe Blair, maybe Mark, to be in our fantasy football league. Dreesy, if you want into, I think.
Yeah, let us know.
Maybe we'll do 8 of us and then four guests.
Yeah. I got it all set up the other day. So excited.
Did you?
Well, I created the account that you sent me. But
yeah.
I'm
So you
excited.
click
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
haven't done
Grant
that
still
yet.
hasn't accepted the Sports with Balls fantasy football.
Thanks, bro.
If y'all want to be in fantasy football, send us your email on the Sports with Balls live show right now that you're watching. Dreesy, Blair,
No, message us.
Mark, I know yours.
Message us if you want to be on it.
Yeah,
that
message on Sports
Yeah,
with Balls.
message us so we have your email address and it doesn't get lost in all these comments and everything like
Another
that.
big
Correct.
news that I brought up last week was the quarterback, Alex Smith, got – now, a lot of people think because he got cleared for football activities means that he's like, going to be ready to play. I highly doubt this guy will ever play an NFL football game again. He's cleared to practice with the team. But if you watch something, go watch Alex Smith 30 for 30 or what happened to his leg. It
Yeah,
is
it's tragic.
unbelievable. 17 surgeries. Literally half of his leg was missing. It was gross.
That
but
is nuts.
Right now in the depth chart, though, they have him as the backup. They have Dwayne Haskins as the starting quarterback, and they have Alex Smith as his backup
yeah, listen, like
with
I
Kyle
said,
Allen behind him.
I doubt that he's going to start another football game. Could he come in for a couple of plays? Possibly. Yeah, but he still walks with a noticeable limp. He lost, an inch on his leg or whatever. And,
Yeah.
80% of the skin in his calf, like 40% on his thigh. It was terrible.
Well,
If
and
you're
this,
hungry, you're not going to be
yeah,
now.
that's right.
Yeah.
And this may be just something for him that he had a goal that I'm going to get back and play. I'm going to get back and be
Yes,
a part of the
that's
team.
what I'm saying.
And he's done that. And
Yes.
so maybe in his mind, everything's downhill from here. Like he's made it back on the team. He's at practice. He's playing.
Yeah, if you saw on ESPN, they had his kids and wife sprayed him with champagne.
That
when they
was cool. I
cleared
like
him.
that.
Yeah,
That was
so
awesome.
it's just like you said, that's what I was kind of getting at is that, it was just a goal for him to be cleared for football activity again. He just wants to be back out there with the guys. Him actually playing an NFL game again,
Yes.
I don't know about that. I really, really don't. After you watch that show, see his recovery, see his leg, and he still walks with a, pretty good limp. And
Walks with a limp. Isn't that a song?
I don't know. It could be. Keep going.
You say
Put a track on it, Johnny. Put a track on it.
walks with a limp.
Put a track. Get a beat going.
you sing a song to start last show.
Golly. I was singing Usher.
You're singing a
Not
actual
Walk
song.
with a limp.
Not walk. Somebody out there.
Wow.
Let's go, Johnny. Hit the beat. She gonna do
Joe
walk with
or
a limp.
something.
There you go. Walk with a limp. Go.
Jeez.
Go. Wow.
Isn't that a song?
I can't stand up and do that because you wouldn't see me. You said go?
No, yeah. Do you want to rap? We can get you rapping.
Yeah, we can do that.
You mean rap? I thought you meant like go, like, never mind.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Oh man. Sports with balls.
This is like a PSA. This is a public service announcement
Public
for Red Bull.
service
Having too much Red Bull.
Exactly.
Gives you wings.
One other thing I wanted to bring up with you guys. This was interesting. Sticking on the fantasy football note for just a minute. And like I said, we're going to have our fantasy football special coming up probably next week because I know I have my fantasy draft coming. We're going to have Sports with Balls fantasy draft coming. I know a bunch of other people that are on here have their drafts coming. Check out the list of wide receivers that they have top 10. Number 1, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Allen Robinson, DeAndre Hopkins at 6, Chris Godwin 7, Odell Beckham at 8 over Mike Evans at 9, and Adam Thielen at 10. Adam Thielen at 10 is just
Your
shocking.
boy's not even on there.
Who?
Cooper.
I'm not surprised. I'm
No,
not surprised.
I mean,
Well,
CD
one of the reasons why I think that he's not is just because Cowboys have a lot of weapons this year.
Yeah.
A lot of people are
They
going to
do.
be touching the football.
They really
So-
do.
But Devontae Adams is surprising to me.
Is that number 1?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going to see
me
target.
too.
He's going to see targets for sure. But Adam Thielen at number 10 is just a shocker.
I would have thought you would have
Adam
put Michael
Thielen should
Thomas
be at 5.
I thought you
And
put
then
Michael
Hopkins,
Thomas
you know
first.
that they're going to be handing or throwing the ball
Yeah,
to him left and right.
Murray's just going to throw the ball to Hopkins deep. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Hopkins has 13, 16 touchdowns this year.
Would that be the question? Do you think if Hopkins was still on the Texans, he'd be higher than that?
Yes, because
I
you
think
have
so.
Watson.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's part of the
Because
reason why.
we already
Speaking
know
of the Texans, obviously
the
not
duo.
one wide receiver on there that's top 10. I would look. You're gonna have some people taking Deshaun Watson as like a number 1 quarterback, and some people he's gonna slip to number 5. But he'll be top 5. I'm almost positive in quarterbacks, and then the rest of his arsenal, wide receivers and running backs, aren't even going to be in the top 15, maybe not even top 20.
So projected as far as their starting receivers, Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb.
Fuller, if he
With-
will stay healthy, can deliver.
With Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills in
and
there,
if
yeah.
he can stay healthy as well.
And Cootie.
Yeah,
Cootie or
and
however you say his
Coochie.
name.
And
Those
if I can
three
see
guys,
the
love
glass.
y'all.
Glass.
Please stay healthy. Those
Yeah.
3 get injury prone so much.
But
But
we're
it-
gonna get through the fantasy football. Like I said, we'll figure out a day here pretty soon when we're gonna have it. It'll be next week sometime, like 100%.
But will we also
We'll
talk
let you know.
about actual teams as opposed to fantasy football? Will we do that?
No, we're gonna go individuals. You don't know much about fantasy football, but
I
you'll
don't
have
because
fun.
fantasy football,
You,
like,
you don't
Listen,
pick as
I want my team to
teams.
win.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
don't pick
care
as-
about the player.
You don't pick as teams. You pick the players, what lineup you think.
No,
are
it'll
gonna
be
get the
fun.
most points.
It'll be
I
fun.
mean, I'll
for
do
you.
it just because, I'm
Just
a
because
team player.
you only have to.
Because
I'm
he
a
has
team-
to.
I'm a team player.
I'm a team player. That's right.
I'll put it in your contract. Dan.
Yeah, I know. That's what I have to do it.
Listen, on some funny news, man, just to get away from the other stuff for a minute. This guy, Jake Paul, that's fighting Nate Robinson. Obviously, you know Nate Robinson from the NBA.
Yes.
And before the Mike Tyson fight, there's this guy, Jake Paul, who's an influencer. Is that what he is?
I don't know.
I don't know.
what
He's
it
a
is.
YouTube star. I don't know. YouTube, whatever. He says he's knocking Nate Robinson out in the first round. Listen, I
Well,
don't-
look, somehow I stumbled onto this. Somehow I stumbled
Okay.
on the Jake Paul's training. Like
Did-
in his, he's boxed before other people.
that's what I've heard.
This isn't his first time. I've watched him train. The dude's got some hands.
Really?
The dude
Haven't seen
has
it.
some
I
hands.
haven't seen it.
I'm not saying you put him in there to ring with, but I mean, this is not going to be his first time. This dude trains. He trains a lot, and he's got some hands. I'll say that.
I mean, we'll see if Nate Robinson. I think Nate Robinson was training with Steven Seagal. That was the rumor was, and that's why he came out with this and said, "I don't care if you're training with Steven Seagal. I'm gonna knock you out in the first round." If they hype this up a little bit more, I might be just as excited to see this match
see
than Mike
that.
Tyson and Roy Jones because I just want to see these two.
And you've been wanting Mike Tyson for a
I
long
can't wait. I'm
time.
telling you, I'm gonna pay the $50. It's like $49.99 just to see him walk down that tunnel with the black shorts and the black shoes.
I like how you had to add
Well,
that.
let me-
$49.99.
It
Let
is
me ask-
nothing. That's what
but
they said.
Let me ask this though: are you really trying to impress somebody by bragging that Steven Seagal is your trainer?
Well,
Like if
no,
somebody
I
came up and was
mean-
like Steven Seagal's my trainer, you can be like, "Whoa,
I don't know.
I'm worried
it's
about
funny as
you."
hell.
I feel like it'd be more like, thrilled about somebody like The Rock were their trainer or something.
Yeah, right. I mean, somebody other than Steven Seagal.
That'd be a publicity stunt out there.
Steven Seagal.
What about Stallone? If you had Sylvester Stallone as your trainer, would you be hyped up about that?
No.
Rocky?
No.
No, it's just like no.
Why?
No?
No?
I think I
Because
think
of
that-
his age or just in
'cause that
general?
That dude's like 70 something.
In other news, some NCAA news. Breaking news that came out yesterday about University of Texas.
Yes, University of Texas signing the 2022 number 1 rated player in the country. Number 1 rated quarterback. Number 1 rated player. No, he's number 1 rated player.
Overall
Player. First 5-star quarterback they've recruited since Vince Young, and we know how that ended. So,
yes.
So, yeah, needless to say, I'm pretty stoked and excited. It's 247 Sports actually gave him the first ever perfect rating they've ever given a player.
Yeah.
That's
You're damn
exciting
right.
to be about.
And Vince Young was given a perfect rating by ESPN. A couple other people that
Yeah.
coming out of high school, obviously here. And like you said, we all know how that turned out for University of Texas. So good for UT, man. That'll help sign other people, get that program going a little bit more in the right direction.
The only thing now is they have to develop them.
Yeah.
That's UT's biggest problem, development. They get the talent, they need to develop them. So Tom Herman's got his work cut out for him trying to get these guys developed. But
Remember Tom Herman last year was going up and like banging his head to the guy's helmet?
Yeah, and he got blood on it.
Yeah,
Like,
some-
busted his-
gosh.
yeah, sometimes Herman goes a little bit too far.
I cannot.
Sometimes he does.
Yeah.
But Listen, man, it's already 7:50.
What?
Time flies.
Damn.
Time flies.
When they're having fun.
We've got a brand new sponsor, like we mentioned on Thursday.
Yeah.
And man, we've got to get to Grant's Today in Sports History.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Today in Sports History, yesterday I believe it was a year anniversary since Cedric Benson, I believe, passed away.
Yes.
So I want to say
Texas
rest in
great.
peace to dude. He
Yes.
was amazing.
Cedric Benson
Used to
was.
love
Yeah.
watching that
Yeah.
guy,
Dude,
man.
that dude could play, man.
Yeah.
That dude could play.
could run.
Texas, I mean, anytime Texas gets up in the NFL, and any player from,
He was awesome.
he was
Good
fantastic.
dude.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's go with the new sponsor and Grant's history.
But yeah, so we got a new sponsor, Texas AV Productions. Tosin is my man over there. Tosin does a great job. Texas AV Productions is your event partner for all things live production. So like setup, designing, installation, corporate events, concerts. You need lights, you need music, anything like that, they can do it. If you mention Sports with Balls, you receive a free consultation plus 10% off your total bill once you've agreed for their services. Call them at 281-241-7520 and check them out at online at txavpro.com to book your next event.
Get him, Tosin. Thank you, Tosin.
Thank you, Tosin.
We love ya.
Welcome.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We
Give him a
on.
call. He'll take good care
My
of
next divorce, you throwing the party.
you. Got
You
it.
should have thrown the first one.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say that? Somebody got in trouble for saying that like yesterday. Remember we
Yeah,
were just talking
Mark
about
Graves.
that?
Yeah.
Mark Graves.
Yes.
Yeah, be careful.
Well, yeah, he called her a name or something. So.
Yeah.
That's not us. We don't do that in
No,
sports
we don't do
football.
that.
No, we're nice.
We're respectful to our
And
exes.
respect.
We're respectful to our exes.
Correct.
I love that.
So today is August 17th. August 17th, 2020. So we're going to go back in history. Jeff, concentrate.
Oh, my God.
August 17th, 1933, Lou Gehrig played his record 1,308th consecutive game. Of course, obviously, Lou Gehrig went on to break it to get a much more, and then, of course, Cal Ripken broke that. But that's when he actually got the record in 1933.
Which I say is the most unbeatable record.
Yes. That'll never be touched by anybody. 1966, really interesting here. 1966, August 17th, 1966. Did you know that Willie Mays takes second place on the home run list? The crazy thing about that is then in 1973, on the exact same day, August 17th, 1973, he hit 660 and his last home run, 661. So
Nice.
he becomes second, and then on the same day, about 7 years later, gets his last home run. So,
Oh, that's cool.
He's got a bunch of cool records like that.
oh yeah,
Like,
Willie
weird,
Mays.
weird stats like
Yeah.
that.
1997. I just brought this up because Jeff, you're a golf guy.
Yeah.
PGA Championship, Winged Foot Golf Club. Davis Love III won his only major.
Yep.
I was surprised that was his only major.
Yeah,
I would have
he
figured
was
Davis
always
Love
up
won
there,
more.
but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like you said, 97. Right after that, who came?
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. And
Tiger
it was
Woods.
it was uncontrollable after
So
that.
this is the one I was telling you about.
Yes,
This is the
Grant has hyped
craziest-
this up, and he
Uh-oh.
said he
This is
had
the
this up way
craziest.
before
This
the show
one?
started. I'm like, you're literally going to make me wait the
That's
entire
right.
time.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. So August 17th, 1957, Richie Ashburn fouls a ball and hits a fan, Alice Ruth. He ends up hitting her twice in the same game.
What?
He hit
That's
her
what you were excited to tell me?
He hit her the first time. First time he hit her, he broke her nose. And then the second time, he hits her while she's on the stretcher.
No way.
Yes.
At the same at bat?
Yes.
What year was
Oh
this?
my god.
1957, Richie
Oh, yeah, way
Ashburn,
before extended
Philadelphia
netting.
Phillies. He hit Alice
Dude,
Roth
Richie.
twice in the same game.
Whoa.
Like, that's a comedy movie.
Did they end up marrying or something?
I don't know, but
'Cause,
that's
I mean,
a
that's one of those.
Because how many
stories.
times have you
she-
seen that when somebody gets hit and they put them on the stretcher and then they get hit again?
Yeah, and like that's the the Three Stooges.
Yeah, that's the
What a
craziest thing I've ever
history
heard
lesson
of. Yes,
today.
correct.
Lauren, you know who the Three Stooges are?
Yeah, it's the black and white show and the three guys, and they're funny, right?
Yes, ma'am.
There you
Okay.
go. That's
Okay.
a good
All right.
synopsis there.
Good job.
So,
Synopsis.
birthdays. Two good birthdays today. August 17th, 1963, John Gruden was
Oh,
born
yeah.
in
Oh,
Sandusky,
okay.
Ohio. Everybody knows John Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
In 1969, Christian Leitner was born.
Whoa.
Duke great Christian Leitner.
The long lost guy on the 1994 Olympic team.
That dude was the most hated college basketball player I've ever seen. That dude was hated. If you weren't a Duke fan, everyone hated
There's
Christian
a 30 for
Leitner.
30 on him on ESPN. It's pretty interesting. I
great.
mean, he's so arrogant, but damn it, I mean, he was 10 for 10 with 24 points and then hit the game winner I mean, he made all of his free throws. He scored, I think, 26, 28 points that game and was perfect from the field.
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable. Like, he was an
2 national
incredible. He was an Olympic winner.
2 national championship, Olympic gold medalist, 4 Final Fours. I mean,
Yeah.
dude could play. And then, of course, yesterday, I'm sure everybody knows we talked about 1948. Babe Ruth died
Yep.
of nasopharnyx cancer at 53. 7-time World Series champ, 12-time AL home run leader.
So young.
That
Yep.
is 53, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Babe Ruth.
for the fans out there, is Seabrook big? Listen,
Yeah,
we're,
please comment.
We're debating this before the show starts about, and
Yes.
there was a plane that there's a small aircraft that went down in the Seabrook Bay or something like. Is it Seabrook Bay or what?
It's Seabrook. It's just Seabrook. So
Okay.
it obviously it all leads into the Gulf.
So Lawrence, it's huge. Seabrook is not huge. Like I believe that my high school is bigger than Seabrook.
Well, it was funny because Lauren was talking about like she was a member of the Chamber of Commerce of Seabrook, and like you
Look.
better not talk
Better
about
not
my
say anything
town.
bad about
Look,
that down
I
south.
was wondering
Like
where
she's
the
running for
Cessna
office.
went down at because there's different areas. In
How do you know it's a
Seabrook.
Cessna?
You said it was a small plane.
Not all small planes are Cessnas.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put it out there.
You
Anyways,
know
I just
quite a
looked
bit
at the-
about planes.
No.
I've
Oh.
There we go. Come on,
Okay, here.
bring it out. Let's talk about it.
not gonna lie, it scared me to death. But a first date that I had, we went up and they made me drive it.
They
A
made
Cessna in Pearland.
you in Pearland.
Anyways, but I'm looking
is it
at
Pearland or Pearland?
it's definitely Pearland.
Okay, Pearland
Pe-
has real.
Pearland.
Here's the
Pearland
question.
has
No, here's
realtors.
the question. Were you impressed when he was like, "Hey, we're gonna go up in a plane"? Were you like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is awesome"?
I'm like, oh, this
impressed."
is really cool. You know, I sat in the back and because it was like a 4-seater.
Yeah.
And so it was him, the guy up front directing, and then me in the back. And then on the way back, they're like, okay, you're going to drive it back. I was like, are you kidding me? What?
But were you impressed though?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it was cool.
So
it
it
was
worked.
cool. So I looked at the population of Seabrook, 14,291
Oh
from
my God,
2018.
That's huge.
That's
Are you
huge.
absolutely kidding me? Like, there's Hunters Creek Village is bigger than that.
I should.
Like,
But I mean,
Don't
she
hate.
did. You did really get upset.
Oh, she was
When
pissed.
he said he's like
Seabrook
small town. You were like,
No,
you spoke
I
up.
was
I've
like,
never
it's-
seen you
it's
so
really
passionate
not
about
a
anything in my
s-
life.
It's really not a small town. It's
where'd it
grown
go down
so
in
much.
Seabrook? So it's so big. Like, it's
Yeah.
gotta go. No, it went down in.
Well, there's
Seabrook.
different areas like the water. Like different areas of the water, it could have gone down, and that's all I wanted to know.
Celtics have retaken the lead on the 76ers, 101-97 at the 1.5 left to go.
Get back to your Bumble.
Recap Bumble. To recap, Bumble is sponsoring the NBA with the LA Clippers, Loves with the Oklahoma City, and they're playing tons of money. Des Bryant might work out for Baltimore. Man, go watch the show again. There's a lot.
Well, and I will
that-
say, I know we don't do it, but Stars are in the playoffs.
Yes.
If anybody cares, they're tied 2-2
Yes.
with Calgary Flames. I watched it at the game the other night. They were playing. They were down 4-3, 12 seconds left. They tied it up 4-4, and then they go to overtime and they win in overtime. So
Cormier
Go
lost,
Stars.
lost in a decision with the
That's
guy.
crazy. But didn't
with the
both-
bout. He retired directly afterwards.
yeah, that does it normally.
What, Lauren?
You lose and you're done.
Didn't both games today end in overtime? Well, both of the first two games.
No.
The first game did.
First one did,
The
yeah.
first one did. Yeah.
So Nuggets beat the Jazz 135 to 125 in overtime. Raptors win 134-110 in regular.
That'll
and
be easy
Celtics
for them.
are up by 4 with 1 minute left. And then tonight's game, Mavericks at the Clippers on ESPN at 8 o'clock.
And we learned what lizard lots and mud crickets are today.
Yeah.
Boom!
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you are just now
Stay
tuning
away.
in, rewind and see
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yes.
If you are
That was
just joining in and
entertaining.
you know what a
Seriously.
lizard lot is, you got to watch the beginning of the show.
Lot
awesome.
lizard.
Astros been on fire. They won 5 of 6. They're outscoring their opponent something like 20-4 in the last five games they've won.
That's awesome.
Jordan Alvarez hit a home run first at bat. Has some knee discomfort, so
Discomfort,
he'll be
yeah.
out for. He's day to day. Yankees hurt. LeMahieu, Stanton, and the Judge are all out, and still beating Boston. So
Yeah, because Boston's not good.
that's it. I want to thank you guys for paying attention and watching us at Sports with Balls live on Facebook. We'll be on YouTube. Go like our page. Go join us. Monday, we're going to be at a new spot. Thursday, we're going to be in a new spot. We're going to be at Christian's Tailgate on Kirby on Monday at 7 o'clock. So you you guys get ready for that. But again, thank you for paying attention. Lauren Leal, Grant Miles.
Yes, come join us on Thursday. I don't know what you're doing, but it's been a fun night tonight, guys. It
been
really
awesome.
has.
We appreciate y'all.
Cheers to you. We salute you for hanging out with
Time
us
to
each and every
go
Monday
home
night.
and go to bed. Go see Johnny. I know Johnny's going out. Go to his Facebook page, see where he's going.
Johnny's going out.
Well, he's got to go DJ, so we'll see y'all. But thanks for joining in, y'all.
Yo.
Sports with Balls.
Oh.
We're out.
In my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.